These two stars are quite special. In addition to representing benefactors for men and women, respectively, Tiankui and Tianyue also signify help that is given openly and help that is offered behind the scenes. However, if these stars appear in your natal chart, they represent you personally taking on these roles. For example, if your career palace has a Tianyue star, it means that at work you might not help others directly or openly, but you always care about your colleagues behind the scenes. You yourself play this role. A lot of people like to ask me, "Teacher, will I have benefactors in my life?" For most people, during the hardships of life, you always hope that someone can lend a hand. So the question of whether you will have benefactors is probably second only to whether you will have romantic luck. We always hope that in our lives, someone can pull us up or help us out so that we can gain some resources and support. Why is that? Because we notice that there are people around us who, well, aren't necessarily better looking than us. They're not better looking, not more handsome, not smarter, and not even more hardworking than I am. But then, it's just that someone gave them a helping hand, and as a result, they soared to success. Stories like this are everywhere in our lives, not to mention how common they are in romance novels. An average-looking girl suddenly meets a domineering CEO. Or a poor young man suddenly meets a princess or heiress who appreciates him. These kinds of fairy tales fill our lives and give us hope, but in reality, most of them are just placebos. Will we really encounter a benefactor in our lives? Actually, you can see clues about this in your natal chart. However, it might not be exactly as you vividly imagine. Today, we're going to tell you precisely how to find truly supportive benefactors in your life, what specific kind of individuals are naturally blessed with genuine benefactors surrounding them, and if you unfortunately can't find any at all, does that truly mean you'll never, ever have a significant chance in this entire lifetime? First, let's deeply consider what a benefactor really, truly is. From the perspective of the Zi Wei Shu chart, the so-called benefactor stars are actually just a few specific stars. The first is the Tian Liang star, which represents the benevolence bestowed by heaven, a kind of innate virtue granted by the universe. The second are the Tiankui and Tianyue stars, these two stars, Kui and Yue. Many people often confuse the Zuoyu Kui Yue among the 6 auxiliary stars, thinking that Kui and Yue are benefactor stars. Zhou and Yu are also considered benefactors by some, but in reality, that's not the case. The true benefactor stars are only Kui and Yue, not Zhou and Yu. This brings us to the point that during the development of Zi Wei Shu, especially by the mid-Qing dynasty, many unrelated metaphysical concepts were incorporated into it, including the Bazi system. When I say unrelated, those who have followed our program for a long time will know that Zi Wei Shu actually originates from ancient Indian astrology and the I Ching, as well as Qimen Dunjia, and was combined with methods for diagnosing illnesses. Through this integration, it evolved into a very comprehensive and all-encompassing system. Zi Wei Shu was the primary metaphysical art that imperial astrologers of the Ming and Qing dynasties were required to master. So, in the process of seeking greater completeness, once it had already integrated a large organization, a vast system, it naturally absorbed useful elements from other systems as well. As for the Kui and Yue stars, these actually originate from the Bazi system. The Qianyi nobleman, for example, is similar to the Lu, Chen, Qingyang, and Tuolo stars in Zi Wei Shu, which are actually borrowed from the Bazi system. In the early days of Shu, these did not exist. So these two stars can be said to have been completely incorporated into the Shu system. We look to Bazi for more practical techniques to understand how to discern whether in your life there will be someone who is of a higher status than you or older than you will come to help you. This is how the Bazi system was directly incorporated. So, Kui and Yue, these two are from the Bazi system, and from beginning to end, they indicate that someone will come to help you. As for Zhuo and Yu, they are not literally left and right. They originally belong to the Shu system, and they refer to the power of support at your side. The support from peers can be either good or bad. You might encounter helpful people or those who are not, so it can't be directly regarded as a benefactor. But Kui and Yue, the two stars, can be considered benefactors. So how do we interpret Kui and Yue? What else is there? There are also some minor stars which similarly were gradually incorporated into the Shu system during the Qing dynasty as the system was being completed. Gradually, as the system developed, some stars were added, such as the Tiangui star and the Rongde star, and even smaller ones beyond that. Therefore, most people can't really understand which stars in Dao Shu represent benefactors. So, of course, it's not easy for them to identify these things. More importantly, when we interpret a Dao Shu chart, many books on the subject discuss stars and palaces separately. So, they simply treat benefactor stars as benefactors without considering their corresponding palaces. However, all interpretations of stars must be connected to their respective palaces. Therefore, the stars we just mentioned must be placed in the correct palace in order to be considered benefactor stars. Since we're talking about benefactors, the palace must be related to people. So if the Tianliang star, for example, is not located in one of the 6 kinship palaces in your doshu chart, by 6 kinship, we mean, for instance, parents, siblings, servants, if it's not in one of these palaces, then it basically doesn't count. So it must be in one of these specific palaces, and there can't be any inauspicious stars nearby. Only then can it truly be considered that you are likely to encounter benefactors. If there are inauspicious stars, then the help from this benefactor may not be complete, or it could be that they only come to help because you're having bad luck. Of course, if you feel that having someone help you when you're down still counts as a benefactor, then that's fine too. So it must be in the corresponding palace, of course, right? Only this star, because it is said to be bestowed by the heavens. Therefore, when it appears in a certain palace, you are naturally more likely to receive help from others in that area. The other stars may not necessarily work this way. Now, if we're talking about people, then it must be a palace related to people. You might ask, teacher, what if my wealth palace has Tianliang, or my career palace has Tianliang, or my virtue palace has Tianliang, or even my talent palace has Tianliang? Does that count? The disaster palace could perhaps be considered, albeit reluctantly, as representing the elders in your family, and it could also be seen as your benefactor. However, if the wealth palace or career palace has Tianliang in your natal chart, it usually refers to because the wealth, career, and life palaces are typically your own palaces, your work attitude, your financial management concepts, and your personal character. So, when Tianliang appears in these 3 palaces, and in the natal chart, it often means that you yourself have to be that benefactor. In other words, you are the one playing the role of Tianliang. But you can't deny that when you help others, you'll also find that people will help you in return. So if the Tianliang star is in the life, wealth, or career palaces, it actually represents your willingness to help others. And after others receive your help, they will be willing to help you in return. From this perspective, you could also say that such a person is naturally blessed with benefactors. Now, if it's in the palace of fortune and virtue, in that case, it really is divine intervention. Since it's divine intervention, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could come in all sorts of ways and opportunities. So you can't directly interpret it as the star of benefactors, but rather that heaven will respond to you. Heaven will respond and provide you with a turning point when you encounter danger. So this is the Tianliang star. However, the other 2 stars I just mentioned are called Kui and Yue. These 2 stars are quite special. If they appear in your natal chart, they also represent you. That is, you are the Tian Kui or Tian Yue. The Tian Kui star is called the Yang benefactor, and the Tian Yue star is called the Yin benefactor. In other words, they are the male benefactor and the female benefactor, or direct help and behind-the-scenes assistance. Tian Yue represents help given behind the scenes, while Tian Kui represents help given openly. What does it mean to help openly? For example, during a meeting, a senior colleague says, "Your project is great, I support you." That's help given openly. So what does it mean to help behind the scenes? Well, during a meeting, there's a senior colleague. He tells you before the meeting to pay attention to certain people who will oppose you and who will support you. So you need to be cautious of those who are against you. What they say may not be trustworthy. As for those who support you, you should try to win them over even more. This way, it will be easier for your proposal to get approved. He doesn't help you openly, but privately he tells you what you should do. This is Tian Yue. So Tian and Tian Yue, besides representing people, in addition to being benefactors for men and women, also represent help that is given openly and help that is given behind the scenes. But if it appears in your natal chart, it means that you yourself will do these things. For example, if your Guanlu Palace has a Tian Yue star, it indicates that at work you might not help others directly, but you always care about your colleagues behind the scenes. So you yourself will play this role. Now, in the Zi Wei Doshu chart, there is a combination called sitting on a benefactor or like a benefactor. The books tell you that people with this configuration are naturally blessed with benefactors throughout their lives. No matter what they do, there will always be someone to help them. But many people don't realize that this sitting on a benefactor configuration is always fixed in the Chou and Wei positions among the 12 palaces. Because of different schools of thought, some say Tian Kui is in Chou, while others say Tian Yue is in Chou. But regardless, it's always Kui and Yue sitting exactly at the Chou and Wei positions. Even in earlier times, many books and so on would argue about which is correct. Some say this one should be Tian Kui, others say that one should be Tian Yue, or that it should be done this way or that way. In fact, I can tell everyone that there really isn't much of a difference. As long as the Chou and Wei positions have the Kui and Yue stars sitting there, that's what matters. When these two stars are present together, basically, it can be considered as forming a noble configuration. But a very important point about this noble configuration is that it's not just about the stars sitting in this position. Your destiny sign must also be in this position. So if your destiny sign isn't in this position, basically, you won't have the chance to encounter this noble configuration. You could say that the Puyu Palace forms a noble configuration, and you treat your friends especially well. Why is it called this? Literally, it means that your destiny palace has a noble star. And then your opposite palace also has a noble star, which is called noble counterpart. But in reality, this Zuo is actually a borrowed character. It actually means to act or to do. In other words, it means you are willing to be a benefactor to others. Then, naturally, another benefactor will come toward you. This is the same as what we discussed earlier about the Tianliang star. If you are willing to be a benefactor and help others, others will naturally help you in return. So the greatest significance of being a noble counterpart is that when you help others, others will help you as well. Therefore, if your chart happens to have this configuration, then you are meant to be a noble counterpart, but perhaps you usually have the Tuo Luo star in your life palace, or you have the Hua Ji star in your life palace, or Tuo Luo in your travel palace. When you are helping others, you are always overthinking, always going back and forth, always worrying about this and that. In this case, the power of being a noble counterpart won't manifest. In other words, this configuration arises because you help others and others help you. But if, during the process of helping others, due to your own personality, you have a lot of concerns and aren't as straightforward in your assistance, then naturally, when others come to help you, it won't be as obvious either. That's why Tianquai and Tianyue are the stars most often mentioned in books as giving someone a life blessed with benefactors. This is about having the right aspect, but it requires certain conditions. You must be willing to help others, and it must happen within close interactions for it to be recognized as such. You might ask, teacher, what if I'm in the position of an assistant officer? Does it work the same way? In that case, you need to act this way in your work. As for the wealth palace, it means you should always help others financially. By doing so, it will naturally lead to opportunities in your work, in managing finances, or in lending a hand. Of course, the best situation is when your life palace and travel palace are aligned. Then, throughout your life, many people will be willing to help you, care about you, and look after you. But if you don't help others first, then benefactors won't appear for you either. This is actually something that happens to a lot of people when they study Zi Wei Doshu. They just read the books, and then they start to notice, hey, that's strange. The book says I should have benefactors, but why haven't I met any? Or the book says I have a romantic fate and am supposed to be very flirtatious, but I'm not. Actually, this is something we often mention in class. The things written in the books, that chart, it belongs to us personally. We have to use our own willpower to drive our chart, and only then will those phenomena appear. It's like if you own a Ferrari but never take it out for a drive, how would anyone know you have a Ferrari? Right? If you have this kind of destiny chart but you don't do the corresponding things that suit it, then of course you won't encounter those things. So if you have the Zuo Wei Xiangui star but you don't help others, naturally benefactors won't appear. Or if you have the Feng Liu Tai Zhang star, which can lead to trouble due to romantic affairs, but in your environment and with your personality, you have no intention of doing such things, then naturally you won't get into that kind of trouble. A destiny chart must be interpreted in a dynamic way. You have to understand that it needs to be activated. Of course, you can choose to activate the positive aspects, or you can choose not to activate the negative ones, thereby achieving the effect of seeking good fortune and avoiding misfortune. This is why we often emphasize that learning to read a destiny chart requires flexibility and knowing how to use it rather than just looking at it passively. This is the main reason. Therefore, the most important point about these two stars, Zuo Wei and Xiangui, is that you must first become someone else's benefactor before you can truly experience it yourself. Having the help of benefactors, but being unable to naturally give or be naturally generous, these are two different things. Moving on, we just mentioned that the two minor stars, Tiangui and Rongde, have a very significant characteristic. What is it? They must appear in the luck cycle chart. At the very beginning, we already told everyone that some people are born as benefactors. For these people who are naturally benefactors, their Tianliang star is often placed in the right position, or in other words, his Tiankui and Tianyue stars are placed in his natal chart, and he is also willing to help others. At this point, you'll feel that this person is naturally surrounded by benefactors. Everyone helps him, and everyone treats him well. Such situations do happen, but honestly, for the first two factors mentioned earlier, sometimes you just don't have them. For example, like me, my destiny is in the Zi and Wu positions, so I'll never encounter the Kui and Yue stars sitting in my natal chart in my whole life, right? So what about people who don't have any of these? If you don't have them, does that mean we're pitiful? Does it mean that we'll never have benefactors in our lives, that we have to rely on ourselves for everything? Is it really like that? Honestly, I actually think that relying on yourself for everything is pretty good too. Why must we depend on others for help? This is something I often tell my clients. Being able to help others means you are capable, and it also means you are blessed. So in life, there's no need to pursue having others help you. It's not necessary. Even though we might feel envious or jealous, though not to the point of hatred, of course. And we always think that having someone to help is a good thing. Life doesn't have to be about seeking help from others. We can rely on ourselves too. But sometimes there really are moments when we feel stuck and helpless. You really start to wish, how great it would be if someone could give me a hand during such difficult times. But at this point, it's not about your natal chart anymore. At this time, what matters is the luck cycle chart. So even if I wasn't born with certain advantages, it's okay. I can rely on the luck cycle to compensate. This is what makes Zi Wei Astrology so interesting. Because on the luck cycle chart, if you have the chance to encounter Tianliang and your heart is in the right place, or if Kuiyue is in the right position, then when you help others, you will definitely receive help in return. There's no doubt about that. So even if I don't have this opportunity in my natal chart, I can still rely on the luck cycle chart. For example, if my major luck cycle happens to have the assistant officer line sitting in the Cho position, and there happens to be a Yue star there, it means that during this major luck cycle, as long as I'm willing to help others at work, usually others will also come to help you. Or for example, in this major luck cycle, if my wealth palace happens to have a Tianliang star, and right below the wealth palace is the Puyi palace, where the lower position represents the cause and the upper position represents the result. This indicates that during this major luck cycle, I will have older male friends or elders who will help me financially. So on the luck cycle chart, we can also interpret it this way. Sometimes in life, no matter how hard we try to piece things together from here and there, we just can't make it work. But there's still a small chance. One is called Tianggui, and the other is called Long Day. These two stars, if you can see them in your annual chart, if they appear in your annual destiny chart, then they could represent opportunities for benefactors in your life. However, when it comes to the annual chart, you need to look at these two stars specifically in positions related to interactions with others. That is, Tianggui and Long Day must be located in your annual travel palace, Qianyigong. The people you meet outside, or your annual Puyu palace, the siblings palace, your friends, your family members, or the annual spouse palace, your significant other, these must all be in positions related to relationships with others for these stars to exert their influence. So if in your annual chart these relationship-related palaces contain these two stars, then perhaps these two stars will have an effect on you that year. They could also be your benefactors and provide you with help. As for the details of how they help you and how to identify such people, that's something we cover in our classes. Of course, if you're interested, sign up quickly. I'm starting a new class in August, so here's a little promotion. The class will open in August and you're welcome to enroll in our course. We can teach you in more detail how to find the benefactors who are right for you. Okay, so today we've introduced how to identify your natural benefactors from your natal chart. But if from your birth chart it's not easy to find them, how do people who don't naturally have benefactors attract them? In that case, you can look for opportunities along your luck cycle. There are chances there as well. In Zi Wei Astrology, there's a very important benefactor structure called Zuo Gui Xiang Gui. You have to take action for benefactors to appear. If you look at the literal meaning, Zuo Gui Xiang Gui means that if you just sit and wait, benefactors won't come to you. You have to become a benefactor for others, and then others will come to help you. In fact, if you look at it from another perspective, from the left side of the chart, we can often gain a lot of insights about life. The way it's explained in the Zi Wei Astrology chart is that this person is naturally willing to help others, so others end up helping them. So what if we don't see this sign in our chart? Do we really have to rely on the chart? Honestly, once we understand this principle, we can just put it into practice. If I know that being a benefactor to others will attract benefactors to myself, and the main reason is that I'm willing to help others, so others are willing to help me, then even if I haven't done it before, I can still start now. If I genuinely help others, people will still be willing to help me, right? That's why we often say that the Zi Wei Astrology chart is actually a set of life principles passed down to us by our predecessors. It tells you which path you should take in life and how to do things in a way that suits you best. It can help you more and allow you to have a better life. But in the process of doing this, do you have to strictly follow the chart? That would be superstition. It's like saying if you have Po Jun Qi Sha or Tan Lang, you must get divorced and remarried as if you have no other choice. Or like saying if you have Tian Tong, you are lazy and simply can't get up and work. That's not how it is. What the ancients told us is that this is just a trait, a way of thinking. And this trait or way of thinking can be used in the right place according to our own will. This is what Zi Wei Astrology truly wants to teach us. Do you feel like you don't have a benefactor? It's okay. Benefactors, we can create them ourselves by being a benefactor to others, and naturally, benefactors will come to you as well. All right, thank you, everyone.